So this right here is actually a baby polk plant. What we'll want to do with that is take the leaves and we'll cook those up and eat them, and it'll actually taste a little bit like spinach. Whereas the older plants that are red, you'll actually take the stalk of those and they'll taste more like asparagus. But don't eat them raw, because if you eat this stuff raw, you'll actually get sick and die. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut them up and cook them. And then we're going to eat them. So some quick gathering advice. For these, you can just pick the leaves off like so. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to take a whole bunch of the leaves and take them inside, and we're going to cook them. But for this, when you cut it, actually cut a couple inches away from the ground, because the bulb is actually poisonous and it will never be edible. So if you've got your plant stuff, we're good to go. But just to make sure that you have the right plant stuff and you didn't pick some kind of less poisonous and more wacky variety, I'm going to help you identify this plant that's called polk a little bit better. So if you look at it, it's this red stuff. It's red everywhere. But two really good ways to know is if you look at it and you break it, it has this weird inside. It's kind of like cardboard. It's super easy to break. Makes you feel like a ninja every time. Also, another good way is if you look at it and you have these weird berries on it, they're actually incredibly poisonous. And you'll hear people like all the time be like, don't let your kids eat these. Well, really, don't let your kids eat these. But if you're from the South, you'll know these berries, because as soon as they touch you, they get all over you and they never come off. So I was just informed that I needed to vacate the kitchen because my wife is cooking actual dinner. So she told me and my leaves to get the heck out. So I'm on the front porch now, and I'm going to give you some sweet tips and cool things to know about polk. It is actually being researched at the U of A right now for a couple different things. They're trying to figure out how to make it grow faster, so that we can make it into a sustainable type of food that people can eat, like spinach or broccoli or whatever, and make it where it grows faster so we can eat it faster. People are also using the poison in this plant, which I currently don't remember what the name of it is, and they're trying to take that poison and figure out a way to use it to target AIDS and cancer, so that they can cure AIDS and cancer with it, because it's a poison that's almost exclusively towards us, and then just a very small range of other mammals. So it's poisonous to humans. It's also poisonous to domestic dogs, and mostly only cattle. So anything that humans eat, a lot, is also poisonous to this. Or this is also poisonous to that. Also, another reason that you could use polk is if you don't have grocery money, you could go out and get some pokeweeds, because they grow everywhere. In the Civil War, they actually used the berries of this weed. It was called an inkberry, so they would take the berries out, and they would crush it up, and they would use wild turkey feathers, and they would use it to write love letters or whatever letters in the Civil War. So I thought that was pretty bomb too. So yeah, just some cool stuff about the polk plant. Going right now is we've got the leaf, and then we've got the stalk. So the leaf is going to taste a little bit more like spinach, and the stalk is going to taste more like asparagus. What we've got going on right now is we've just got it on some warm water. What's going to happen is this warm water is actually going to break down the poison and the toxins in the leaf and draw it out, and then we're going to dump the water out, and then we're going to do it again and dump the water out again, and then from there I can do whatever I want to do with it. So I'm going to add some bacon to it, because everything is way better with bacon. I was reading somewhere when it starts boiling and bubbling like this, that's where you want it to be. So what you're going to do from here is hopefully your pot will have two handles. Mine only has one. So we're going to take it off the heat, and if you look in there, it's got yellow juicy stuff in there. That's called pot hooch or something like that. Some kind of hooch or some kind of alcohol reference. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to just dump this sucker out. I'm not keeping the pot hooch because I'm not interested. This is hot. And we're going to just rinse it off real quick and do it all over again. Alright, so it's the moment of truth here. We've got the greens and the asparagus stuff. That's actually not that bad. It has no taste because I boiled it all night. And then this, it needs a little bit of help. So I got a whole bunch of cheese here, and we'll go for it. Perfect. A little bit of salsa here. Perfect. All right, cool.